Hello again with me. For today, I will make a video to read chapter novel. The continue the last video. This video, this chapter still about the matriarchal family in America. So in the last week we already know material, it's from the Hebrew, right? Like in the Bible story. Matriarchal, no, matriarchal in England, uh like value in the kingdom, but patriarchal in the Hebrew in Bible story. So right now, another perspective, the matriarchal family in America. So let's read it with me. Yeah, I hope you are happy and enjoy myself when you see my video in the future. Yeah, of course. When you see this, you very luck because you can see your face again. No, not just face, yourself. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I think it's long story because have 12 pages. So I have water in here like always. Yeah. So let's read with me. The matriarchal family in America. Traces of mother skin are common everywhere in the American continent, and in some district mother rule it is still in the force. Morgan, who was commissioned by the American government to report on the custom of the Aboriginal inhabitants, gives a description of the system as it exists among the Iroquois. Each household was made up on the principle of skin. The married woman, usually sister on or cool, later were of the same genes or claimed the symbol or totem of which was often painted even the houses, while their husband and the wives of their sons belonged to several other genes. The children were of the genes of their mother. As a rule, the sons brought home their wives, and in some cases the husband of the daughter were admitted to the maternal household. Thus each household was composed of persons of different genera, but the predominating number in each household would be of the same genes, namely that of the mother. There are many interesting customs belonging to the Iroquois. I can notice a few only. The James was ruled by a chief of two grades, distinguished by Morgan as Cham and Common Chief. The Scam was the official head of the James. The actual occupant of the office was elected by the adult member of the James, male and the female, the own brother or son sister being most likely to be preferred. The wife never left the parental home because she was considered the mistress or at least the highest. Her husband lived with her in the household. The duties and the honor as the head of the household fell under her. She was required in the case of need to look after her parent. The Iroquois recognized no right in the father to the custody of his children. Such as power was in the hand of the maternal uncle. Marriage were negotiated by the uncle or the mother. Sometimes the father was consulted, but this was little more than a compliment, as his approbation or opposition was usually discreet. The suitor was required to make reason to the bride's family. It was the custom for him to seek private interview at the night with his betrothed in some instance. It was enough if he went and sat by her side in her cabin, if she permitted this, and remained where she was. It was taken for consent, and the act would suffice for marriage. If husband and wife could not agree, they part of two fair would exchange husband and wives. An early French missionary remonstrated with the couple on such a transition and would stop. My wife and I could not agree. My neighbor was in the same case, so we exchanged whips and all for our content. What can be more reasonable than to render one another mutually happy when it costs so little and there's nobody any way? It would seem that these primitive people have solved some difficulties better than we ourselves have. Among the Senecas and Ironicans tribe with the less organized social life, the authority remained in the hands of the woman. These people led communal life, dwelling in the long houses, which is accommodate as many as a 20 family, each its own apartment. As to their family system, it is probable that someone clan predominate in the house, the woman taking in husband. However, from the other clans and sometimes for novelty some of their sons, bringing in their young wives until they felt brave enough to leave their mother, usually the female portion rule of the house, and were doubles claims enough about it. The store were in common, but who to the luckless husband or lover who was too shiftless to do his share of the providing? No matter how many children or whatever goods he might have in the house, he might at any time be ordered to pack on his blanket and budget. And after such an order, it would be not be helpful for him to attempt to disobey. The house would be too not for him, and unless saved by the intercession of some aunt or grandmother, he must retreat to his own clan, or as was often done, to start a new matrimonial alliance in some other. The women were the great power among the clans as everywhere else. They did not hesitate when occasion required to knock off the horns, as it was technically called, from the head of chief, and to send him back to the rank of the warrior. The original nomination, the chiefs also always rested with them. The last detail is very interesting. We find the woman authority extending even over warfare. The special province of men. The windows, another Iroquois, the tribe came in the form of horseshoe, every clan together in regular order. Marriage between members of the same clan is forbidden. The children belong to the clan of the mother. The husband retains all their right and privilege in their own genus should they live in the genus of their wives. After marriage, the pair live for the time, at least with the wife's mother, but afterward they set up a scheme for themselves. We may not hear to grieving in of changes which led to father right. This is illustrated further by the Musquies also belonging to the Algonquin stock. Although still organized in the clans, this gain is no longer recognized through the mother, the bridegroom. However, serve his wife's mother and he lives with her people. Doesn't make him of her clean. She belonged to his till his death, or divorce separates her from him. As for the children, the minor at the termination of the marriage belong to the mother claim, but those who had the property fees are counted to the father's claim. The male authority is chiefly felt in a period of war. This is maybe illustrated by widows who have an elaborate system of government. In each genus there is a small council composed of 4 women called Yuwana, chosen by the women heads of the household. This woman consular select a chief of the chain from his male member, that is from their brother and sons. He is the head of the genital council. The council of the tribe is composed of the aggregated genital council and is thus composed of 4/5 of women and 1/5 of men. The scheme of tribes of tribal chief is chosen by chiefs by the genus. All civil government of the genus and of the tribe is carried on by this council. And as the women so largely outnumber the men, who are also, with the exception of the tribal chief chosen by them, it's surely fair to assume that the social government of the gens and the tribe is largely directed by them in military affairs. However, the men have sole authority. There is a military council of all the able-bodied men of the tribe, with a military chief chosen by the council. This seems a very wise adjustment of civic duties. The constructive civil work directed by the woman, the destructive work of war in the hands of men. Some interesting marriage custom of the Seri on the southwest coast, now reduced to single tribe, are described by MZG. The matrical system exists here in this early form. It is therefore an instructive example by which to estimate the portion held by the woman. Quote, the tribe is divided into exogenous totem clans. Marriage is arranged exclusively by the woman. The elder woman of the suitor family carries the proposal to the girl clan mother. If this is entertained, the question of the marriage is discussed at length by the matrons of 2 clans. The girl herself is consulted, a jacal is erected for her, and after many deliberations, the bridegroom is professionally received into his wife's clan for a year, under condition of the most exacting character. He is expected to prove his worthiness of permanent relation by demonstrating his ability as a provider and by showing himself an implacable foe to alien. He is compelled to support all the female relatives of his bride family by the product of his skill and industry in hunting and fishing for 1 year. There is also another provision of very curious nature. The lover is permitted to share the jackal and slaving robe provided for the prospective matron by her kinswoman, not as privileged spouse but merely as a protective companion, and throughout this probationary term he is compelled to maintain continence. He must display the most indubitable proof of moral force. This is the moral extraordinary if we compare the freedom granted to the bride. during the period the always dignified function occupied by the daughter of the host culminate. Among other privileges, she is allowed to receive the most intimate attention from the clan fellows of the group. She is the reservoir of the supply furnished by her lover, measuring his competence as would-be husband. Through his energy, she enabled to dispense a largesse with lavish hand, and choose dignify her claim and honor her spouse in the most effective way from to primitive life at the same time she enjoy immeasurable moral stimulus of realizing she is the arbiter of the fate of a man who became a warrior or an outcast at her bidding. And taught him of the future of two clans. She is raised to responsibility in both personal and tribal affairs, which, albeit temporarily, is hardly lower than that of the warrior chief at the day's close of day. If all goes well, the probation and is a feast provided by the lover who now become husband. And finally, enter his wife, Jackal as consort guest. His position is wholly subordinate and without any authority whatever either over his children or over the property. He is a mother, but he has a right, which seems to continue after his marriage. But in his wives had the has now. The custom of the Pueblo people of the southwest of the United States are almost equally interesting. They live in communal dwellings and are divided into exogamous totem clans. Kinship is recognized through the woman and the husband unmarried goes to live with the wife kins and become an enemy of her family. If the house is not large enough, additional rooms are built at joining and connected with those already occupied. Hence, a family with a many daughters increase, while on consisting of sons die out. The women are the builder of the houses, the men supplying the material. The married customs are instructive, as in the case among the Seri. The lover has to serve his wife's family, but the conditions are much less exciting. Unlike most maternal people, the Chuni Indians are monogamous. Divorce is however frequent and husband and wife would rather separate than live together unharmoniously. Their domestic life might well serve an example for the civilized world. They do not have large family. The husband have deeply attached to one another and to their children. They cannot of this harmony if the supremacy of the wife is the home. The home with all this their hers descending to her touch her mother for a long line of ancestresses, and her husband is merely her permanent guest. The children, at least the female children, have their share in the common home. The father has known outside the house the husband has be some property in the field, probably in the early times. He had no proprietary right. Modern influence have reached the Juni, and the mother right seems to have begun its inevitable decay. The hobbies another public trip are more conservative, and with them the women own all the property except the horses and donkeys, which is belong to the men. Like the Junis and the hobbies are monogamous. Sexual license is, however, often permitted to women before marriage. Oh. This is no way distract from her good repute even she has given birth to a child. She will be sure to marry later on unless she happens to be shockingly ugly. Nor does the child suffer, for among these matriarchal people the bastard takes an equal places with the child born in the wedlock. The bride lives for the first few weeks with her husband's family, during which time the marriage takes place, the ceremony being performed by the bridegroom mother, whose family also provide the bride with her wedding outfit. The couple then return to home of the wife's parent, where they remain either permanently or for some year until they can obtain a separate dwelling. The husband is always a stranger and is so treated by his wife's kin. The dwelling of his mother remains his true home. In sickness, he returned to her to be nursed and stay with her until he is well again. Often his position in his wife's home is so irksome that he served his relation with her and family and returned to his old home. On the other hand, it is not uncommon for the wife, should her husband be absent, to place his good outside the door, an intimation which he well understands and doesn't intrude himself upon her again. Lastly, among the Poboli people, we may consider the Sai. Like the other tribe, they are divided into exogamous totem clan. Descent is traced only through the woman. The tribe, through various reasons, has been greatly reduced in number, and whole clans have died. And under this circumstance, exogamy has ceased to be strictly enforced. Has led to other changes. The Sai are still, at least normally, monogamous. When a young man wishes to marry a girl, he speaks first to her parents if they are willing. He addresses himself to her one day of the war. Married, he goes along to her home, carrying his brazen wrap in the blowing cap. His father, having preceded him thither, when the young people are seated together, the parent addresses them in the turn enjoying unity and forbearance. This is constitute the ceremony. Tribal custom require the bridegroom to reside with the wife's family. Now I submit to the judgment of my reader what do these examples of mother right among the aboriginal tribes of America show. If not that, speaking broadly, women were the dominant forces in this early stage of civilization. In some instances, it is true their power was shared or even taken from them by their brother or other male relative. This is, I believe, to have been a later development. A first step in the assertion of male force. In all cases, the alien portion of the father, without tribal right in his wife's clan, and with no recognized authority over her children, is evident if this is denial. And the only conclusion that suggests itself to me is that Jews who seek to diminish the importance of mother rule have done so in reinforcement of their preconceived idea of male superiority as the natural unchanging order in the relationship between the sexes. I have no hesitation as the result of very considerable study in believing that is the exact opposite of this is that it's true the mother and not the father was the important partner in the early stages of civilization. For the right, the form we find in our sexual relationship is a later reversal of this. Natural arrangement, best not even kinship. But upon property, this we shall see more clearly later. Thomas suggests another reason for the general tendency among many investigators to lessen the importance of the Mother Egg civilization. He thinks it's due to dislike in acknowledging the theory of promiscuity notably Westmark in history of human marriage. This is few which seems to be connected with the mistaken opinion that womanship arose touched the uncertainty of paternity, but this was not the sole reason, or indeed the chief one, of the scan of being traced through the mother. We have found mother rule in very active, existent among the Pueblo people, who are monogamous and where the paternity of the child must be known. The modern civilized man cannot easily accustom himself to the idea that is the old matriarchal family. Dominion of the mother was accepted as the natural and therefore the right order of society. It's a very difficult for us to accept a relationship of the sexes that is so exactly opposite to that to which we are accustomed. After I had written the foraging account of mother rule as it exists in the continent of America, I had the exceeding good fortune to attend a lecture given by native Iroquois. I wish it were possible for me to write here just thing that I heard, but I couldn't do this. I know without spoiling it all. This would destroy for me, but it's a very beautiful and happy memory for to hear for people who live lightly and without any of those problems. They are rotting away for civilization. Brings a new courage to those of us who sometimes grow hopeless at this needless wastage of life. The lecture told us much of the high status and power of women among the Iroquoian tribes. What he said not only corroborated all I have written, but I have a picture of mother rule of mother right far more complete than anything I had found it in that regard of investigator and traveler. The lecture was culture gentleman, and I learned how false had been my view and the race to which he belonged was uncivilized. I learned too that the Iroquoian tribe were now increasing in number and must not be looked even as diminishing people. They have kept against terrible difficulties and are determined to keep their own civilization and custom, knowing just to be better for them than those of the other race. The lecturer accompanies me by his familiarity with the understanding of our social problem. He spoke in particular of the present revolution among women. This is, in his opinion, was due to the unnatural arrangement of our family relationship with the father and the hated instinct of the mother. There seems to be no sex problem, no difficulties in a marriage, no celibacy, no prostitution among the Iroquois. All the power in the domestic relationship is in the hand of the woman. I questioned the lecturer on this point. I asked him if the woman did not at the time misuse their right of authority, and if a man did not rebel, he seemed surprised. His answer was, of course, the men follow the wishes of the woman. They are our mother. To him there seems no more to be said. Ooh, it's more short than last week. So, thank you. And okay, I will making yeah, I will give what is it statement. Okay, I already turned off my laptop, so Actually, this is talk about culture in America, exactly about mother. And yeah, because honestly, my body is not good. Like I'm really tired like that. So I'm not memorized too much, but I highlight also about because about uh, principle. Mostly the husband or the father not say it what they want because they believe what wife or mother want there is must be do it like that. So so that's why I think it's not uh just follow or yeah like this, but it's also loving, right? So it's like respect, respect. And I think yeah, I see and I remember for my parent. mm, Mostly my dad always heard my mom what my mom think, what my mom do it. So mostly my father followed it. Even sometime my father get jealous also. So when they are fight, yeah, my father answer like that. So I'm not sure. I think my family makes it. So yes, in the inheritance from my dad. So patriarchal. But sometimes I see maternal also because my father like really respect and follow all anything my mom want like that. Even maybe sometimes they are must discuss and talking about that. And yeah, that's it. Uh, Point of view with it. And mm, in this chapter, I didn't want to talking too much because I remember also in America maternal, right? So that's why many film or yeah series also mother take control in their family. So that's why I remember I ever watched the movie. I forgot the movie title, but how to the wives make the family perfectly until they adopt a woman. uh, and I see there's the mother or wife one, but yeah, they're the mother make what is imbalancing or try to make uh, bad bad things to her adopt like children. So but in the family or in the camera in the book, the mother and or the wife try to build the good environment. So I think it's the real right because it's a series from America also. But sometimes the mother because one take the control of the family, they're not uh good or balances in the thinking. So sometimes when they are fighting each other like parent father mother husband and wife, they are want to divorce and they want kids with her, but actually, yes, the kids didn't want it. Mostly kids didn't want it, and uh, so that's why it's hard. It's really hard in the family, but many education can we get from the family, right? So that's why I think um if I have changed to marry, I think I must communicate anything to my partner, and my god, because I don't want to take control anything, and maybe try to stupid and surrender to my husband and to my god. Because I really scared if I have bad chosen to give impact to our family. And I'm blessing until right now. My parents still together. Even the storm is really bigger, and they're still together. So that's why I think the family, especially connection between husband and wife, is really important to maintain and to develop their love, because love making their access and survive. But the love is complicated. The love must have effort. The love must have communication. The love must have connection. The love must have anything like time, financial, and yeah, I think this. So I can imagine what will be my family in the future. But if God give me chance, I believe it will be okay, and it will be the best. And for us, there is a perfect family, because almost perfect family, because the perfect family just got right. So I don't know. I will be have another family like our family, the other family right now. But when I'm see this video, I hope it's make me motivate. When I'm learn about family, it's not just from my family or my parent uh show to us, but as long I learn from book, and then from movie, mostly from movie, and from the real people household in the real life, even I see in social media. I think it's anything part to make me learn how to be a family. Some, I think it's okay if not perfect, family, but almost perfect family is it is much purpose. So that's why every year, maybe day by day, week by week, still learn anything will be happen in the family. And right now, uh, my friends say to me I must prepare myself, but actually I'm not prepare myself. I'm just crying and sometimes blaming to God and upset. And sometimes I'm blame and feel guilty to myself. But I believe this is just make me postpone for the time. After this, I want and I must. I'm still prepare myself, but I just wanna take a break and pause for that. Even I'm feeling guilty, but I don't know. I know always have a good future from God plan to me. So yeah, that's all for today. Sorry, but I'm trying to not crying. But honestly, my brother is really aged because I don't know, maybe many. I wanna using this after this. So yeah, that's all for today, and thank you. See you. Bye bye.